What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for more.
What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of showmefootball.com, covering your Kansas City Chiefs, and I invite you all to join me as I dive into why Tyquan Thornton could be the Kansas City Chiefs' biggest weapon this season. Stick around and see if I can convince you. Ladies and gentlemen of the Chiefs Kingdom, welcome back to another video here on Show Me Football. If you guys haven't already noticed, I did a bunch of work to increase the production value for you all, upgraded the camera setup, the lighting, the microphone, trying to bring you guys that elite level Chiefs content. So I'd appreciate if you all could return the favor. Make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. It really helps me out. But without further ado, let's get into the video topic. So, wide receiver Tyquan Thornton. This is a guy that has been a pleasant surprise for us Kansas City Chiefs fans so far this season. And he was honestly the hero of Monday Night Football for the Kansas City Chiefs, or Sunday Night Football, excuse me. Sunday Night Football, where the Kansas City Chiefs beat the New York Giants by a final score of 22-9. And the offense kind of woke up a little bit in the second half. That was mostly thanks to the contributions of Tyquan Thornton, who had 5 catches on 9 targets for 71 yards and a touchdown. He had the touchdown a couple plays earlier, but then they looked at it, determined that he didn't catch the ball, came back, made up for it a couple plays later. And that's, I think, been one of the most impressive things about Tyquan Thornton so far for the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, coming over from New England, where he was a previous draft bust, he didn't really handle the adversity all that well in New England. But I don't know if it's the Chiefs coaches or just Patrick Mahomes really motivating Tyquan Thornton or what, but it seems like even when Tyquan Thornton, a play doesn't go his way here, he finds a way to quickly bounce back. And I think that does speak a little bit to the culture that the Kansas City Chiefs have built. But I said this in a previous video that I did earlier this week, but Tyquan Thornton is no longer just a good story for the Kansas City Chiefs. Someone that was on a futures deal, was invited to training camp, had a chance to make the team. Oh, now he made it. Hey, that's cool. No, he's not just a good story anymore. He is a weapon for the Kansas City Chiefs, and perhaps their biggest weapon they have. And I know that's going to raise a lot of eyebrows, considering that we have players on this team like Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy, and Rashee Rice, who we expect back very soon. But there's a few reasons why I think Tyquan Thornton could be the Kansas City Chiefs' biggest and most dangerous weapon. First of all, Patrick Mahomes this season leads the entire NFL in passes of 30 yards or more. And a lot of that is thanks to Tyquan Thornton, who's had several of those over the first 3 weeks of the NFL season. A lot of that is Patrick Mahomes, of course, being the best quarterback in the league. But this is a stark contrast from the last couple of years where Mahomes' average yards per attempt, his average air yards per attempt had been way down. Since the Kansas City Chiefs have traded Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes' air yards per attempt has been actually one of the worst in the NFL. Now, of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Chiefs were never a good team or that they didn't have a good offense, but clearly it's been a different type of Chiefs offense, and Patrick Mahomes has been forced to be less explosive, and I think that's mostly because of the personnel. You know, you trade Tyreek Hill, naturally that's going to happen, but the Chiefs have also just struggled to either stay healthy at the wide receiver position or have struggled to bring in talent at the wide receiver position. Tyquan Thornton was a guy that they took a chance on coming out of Baylor. He was this big, fast wide receiver. The New England Patriots actually took him a few picks before the Chiefs took Sky Moore, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. But Tyquan Thornton and the success that he's had so far, it's starting to look like he's the player that we expected him to be, coming out of college. But also when you look at the production, it's a sign that the deep ball is coming back. I just mentioned that Patrick Mahomes has the most, passes of 30 yards or more in the NFL this season. A lot of it thanks to Tyquan Thornton. It's a sign that the deep ball is coming back. And the Chiefs have brought in a few players since they got rid of Tyreek Hill, like or Marquez Valdez-Scantling or a Hollywood Brown. And those guys haven't really worked out as well as Tyquan Thornton has worked out so far, at least when you look at the early returns. And the Chiefs have tried to get creative in finding ways to bring the deep ball back, but none of those things really have made it return the way that Tyquan Thornton has been able to bring the deep ball back out of Patrick Mahomes. And I also said this in a recent video that I did talking about Tyquan Thornton and just how impressed I've been with him. But even if you're someone who doesn't believe that this will keep up for Tyquan Thornton, if you're someone that's not necessarily sold on Tyquan Thornton, I definitely don't know how you couldn't be impressed with him, given what they've been able to get out of him so far. Let's remember, guys, this was someone that with the New England Patriots only recorded 70 or 39 catches on 76 targets. So far with the Kansas City Chiefs, he has 9 catches on 18 targets, 171 yards. He had 385 yards total in 3 seasons with the Patriots. In just 3 games with the Kansas City Chiefs, he has 171 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, he has half the receiving yards and has already matched the same amount of touchdowns he had with New England. You have to admit, it is impressive what the Kansas City Chiefs have gotten out of Tyquan Thornton so far. And I am really glad to see this pay off as well for Brett Veach, because Brett Veach has a history of going out and bringing in former high round draft picks. And we all look at them and say, hey, maybe they can get something out of this guy. Taco Charlton comes to mind. There's a few other ones that didn't quite work out. Emmanuel Ogbah was one of them that worked out, but there's also been a lot of them that haven't worked. And people kind of make fun of Brett Veach for that. Like, yeah, how often do these guys really work out, though? Well, Tyquan Thornton was another one, another former high-round draft pick that the Chiefs said, hey, we'll bring him in, see if he works in our system. And it's more than worked so far. Tyquan Thornton has been amazing. He can stretch the field. He's running much better routes, I think, than he did in New England. And he's getting separation as well. Like, that was something that he really struggled in with the New England Patriots, was he wasn't really getting separation. Yeah, he had the speed and he was a threat and he could carry a defender with him, but he wasn't getting open the same way he's getting open with Kansas City. And I don't think it's a fluke, because he's done it in multiple games. Like, he's been consistent with it. Granted, it's only been 3 games, but Tyquan Thornton has been consistently getting open. And it's not just like, hey, this was a busted coverage. Like the Philadelphia Eagles game, the first one, Tyquan Thornton got free and Patrick Mahomes missed him. That should have been a red flag for the Eagles. Like, hey, we got to cover this guy. Let's make sure we do that. 2 plays later, Tyquan Thornton gets open again. It's not just a fluke. He is finding soft spots in the defense. He's getting open. He's creating separation. And that's just not something that you could say when he was with the New England Patriots. Now, I said that I'm trying to convince you that Tyquan Thornton is the Kansas City Chiefs' most dangerous weapon. And I'm going to hit on these main points here in a second why I think he's the Chiefs' most dangerous weapon. But before I do that, I do want to take a moment to show you all a message from our partners on this channel. So let's go ahead and check that out. Wanted to take a moment to shout out our partners on this channel over at W Energy. Guys, if you have not heard of W Energy, you're absolutely missing out right now. If you're someone like me that needs that jolt of energy when you first wake up in the morning, or when you're trying to take on a big task for the day, such as working out, or maybe trying to complete a project for school, anything like that, W is an essential. I'm someone that unfortunately has gotten into the bad habit of drinking a lot of caffeinated energy drinks filled with sugar or artificial sweeteners or flavors, but I'm trying to curb that now by using W Energy, which is a much better alternative. W is a powered energy drink that replaces other inferior caffeine beverages. It contains 0 harmful chemicals, 0 fillers, 0 artificial colors or dyes, and no proprietary blends. The star of the show is their coffee fruit extract, which helps you focus without the jitter or the crash of other energy drinks or caffeinated drinks out on the market. And they just sent me their Japanese yuzu flavor that I've been drinking recently. It is absolutely fantastic. One of the better tasting energy drinks that I've ever had. And I'm going to continue to use it and check out some of their other flavors as well. I encourage you all to do the same. And luckily for you, you can use my promo code SHOWMEFB by clicking the link down below and putting that promo code in when you go to checkout. And you can get an additional 10% off. Stop drinking those unhealthy energy drinks and start drinking W Energy instead. Go check out their stuff. They're going to be partnered with me all football season long. Go and check them out. So yeah, guys, there you have it. Definitely go in the description. Take advantage of that sale that's going on right now. Get that 10% off using the link in the description. But back to the video topic. So Tyquan Thornton, Kansas City Chiefs' most dangerous weapon. Why is he the most dangerous weapon? Maybe over a Rashee Rice or a Travis Kelce or anyone else on this roster. Tyquan Thornton right now, as things stand, is on pace to finish the season with over 1,000 yards receiving, handful of touchdowns. Do I think he'll actually end up hitting 1,000 yards receiving? No, especially because I don't think he'll see the same amount of volume once some of the other Chiefs receivers get healthy and back out on the field. But the reason why I think he's going to be the most dangerous weapon is because you see the way that he's producing now while being one of the top receivers on the Kansas City Chiefs. This was someone that when he made the roster, we all anticipated him being a wide receiver 5 or 6, come in, maybe play the MVS role a little bit, get 200 or 300 yards. Well, I definitely bet on him getting the over on 300 yards right now. I mean, he's already over halfway there. I don't think it's unrealistic that he could finish the season with 600 yards and 5 touchdowns or something like that. And what I think makes him so dangerous is that, again, you see the way he's producing now as one of the top receivers. Well, what are the looks that he's going to get once Rashee Rice does come back, once Xavier Worthy does come back? And then they have to focus on what the Chiefs have on offense over the middle of the field. Rashee Rice is great at those slant routes. He's going to get a lot of yak over the middle of the field. That's going to open things up for someone like Tyquan Thornton. And I haven't really mentioned Hollywood Brown much at all in this video, but he's someone that we thought was going to be the deep threat. When they signed him, not this past offseason, but the one before that, we thought, okay, this is the move to bring the deep ball back. That didn't quite happen. And I still think Hollywood Brown is a weapon for this team, but I think Tyquan Thornton has clearly surpassed him at this point, and he's a bigger deep threat. And so when these guys get all healthy and on the field at the same time, hopefully that does happen here soon, Tyquan Thornton is going to continue to eat. And he's going to be someone that when he's out on the field, defenses are going to say, oh, here comes Tyquan Thornton. What's he going to do? You have to take him seriously. He's not a scrub. He's a legitimately good player, a plus level receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. And once that happens, man, it's gonna really open things up for this offense. I really do think that. And the Chiefs have really struggled against too high in recent years. Tyquan Thornton might just be their too high buster. And that's what makes him so dangerous. I think we should all be excited about what Tyquan Thornton is going to look like once this offense around him starts to really get healthy and put things together. I think it's going to be a thing of beauty. Patrick Mahomes clearly trusts him, and that's been the biggest thing that I've been hitting on. And that's why I always had faith in him, especially after he officially made the team. I said he's going to make an impact because you can tell that Patrick Mahomes trusts him, and that says a lot. He's consistently looking for Tyquan Thornton down the field. When all else fails, he slings it to Tyquan Thornton. And more often than not, Tyquan Thornton is coming down with it or making a big play. Now imagine that those types of opportunities that are going to come when teams do have to worry about Rashee Rice, who I think is an all-pro caliber receiver. Probably won't make all-pro this year because he'll miss about the first half of the season. But we saw what he was doing those first 4 weeks of last year. Xavier Worthy, I mean, I don't know how effective he'll be with the shoulder, but he's going to at least have to carry a defender with him. And that's just going to make life easier for Tyquan Thornton, who is already making life easier for the Kansas City Chiefs, being the only viable option really in the passing game. And that's pretty impressive, pretty amazing to me. But I think we should all continue to be excited about what Tyquan Thornton brings to the table. But that's why I think, guys, he's the most dangerous weapon, is because teams just aren't going to know how to defend him and how to defend this Chiefs offense once they get the full arsenal back. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But I definitely want to hear from you guys down in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Tyquan Thornton? Do you think that he's going to continue putting up these types of numbers, or do you think he will come back down to earth at some point? I think he's going to be a weapon for this team. Definitely curious your guys' thoughts. But with all that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. Make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com. Follow the Twitter at showmefb. Everything will be down in the description below. That's all I got for this one. I'll see you all in the next one. And as always, go Chiefs.